Sit in the red area. Keep your mask on. Keep a distance of 1.5 meters to 2 meters. Sit in the red area. Keep your mask on. Keep a distance of 1.5 meters to 2 meters.
اجلسوا بالمنطقة الحمراء. احتفظوا بأقنعتكم. حافظوا على مسافة 1.5 متر إلى 2 متر. اجلسوا في المنطقة الحمراء. احتفظوا بأقنعتكم. حافظوا على مسافة 1.5 متر إلى 2 متر.
Сядь в красной зоне. Носи маску. Соблюдай дистанцию в 1,5–2 метра. Сядь в красной зоне. Носи маску. Соблюдай дистанцию в 1,5–2 метра. Уседи се в рдече обмочje. Имей маску. Upoštevaj razdaljo od 1,5 do 2 metrov. Usedi se v rdeče območje. Imej masko. Upoštevaj razdaljo od 1,5 do 2 metrov.
Sit in the blue area. Keep your mask on. Keep a distance of 1.5 meters to 2 meters. Sit in the blue area. Keep your mask on. Keep a distance of 1.5 meters to 2 meters.
اجلسوا في المنطقة الزرقاء. احتفظوا بأقنعتكم. حافظوا على مسافة 1.5 متر إلى 2 متر. اجلسوا في المنطقة الزرقاء. احتفظوا بأقنعتكم. حافظوا على مسافة 1.5 متر إلى 2 متر.
Сядь в синюю зону. Носи маску. Соблюдай дистанцию в 1,5–2 метра. Сядь в синюю зону. Носи маску. Соблюдай дистанцию в 1,5–2 метра. Уседи се в рдече обмочje. Имей маску. Upoštevaj razdaljo od 1,5 do 2 metrov. Usedi se v modro območje. Imej masko. Upoštevaj razdaljo od 1,5 do 2 metrov.
Sit in the pink area. Keep your mask on. Keep a distance of 1.5 meters to 2 meters. Sit in the pink area. Keep your mask on. Keep a distance of 1.5 meters to 2 meters.
اجلسوا في المنطقة الوردية. احتفظوا بأقنعتكم. حافظوا على مسافة 1.5 متر إلى 2 متر. اجلسوا في المنطقة الوردية. احتفظوا بأقنعتكم. حافظوا على مسافة 1.5 متر إلى 2 متر.
Сядь в розовую зону. Носи маску. Соблюдай дистанцию в 1,5–2 метра. Сядь в розовую зону. Носи маску. Соблюдай дистанцию в 1,5–2 метра. Usedi se u roza območje. Imej masko. Upoštevaj razdaljo od 1,5 do 2 metrov. Usedi se v roza območje. Imej masko. Upoštevaj razdaljo od 1,5 do 2 metrov.
Sit in the green area. Keep your mask on. Keep a distance of 1.5 meters to 2 meters. Sit in the green area. Keep your mask on. Keep a distance of 1.5 meters to 2 meters.
اجلسوا في المنطقة الخضراء. احتفظوا بأقنعتكم. حافظوا على مسافة 1.5 متر إلى 2 متر. اجلسوا في المنطقة الخضراء. احتفظوا بأقنعتكم. حافظوا على مسافة 1.5 متر إلى 2 متر.
Сядь в зеленую зону. Носи маску. Соблюдай дистанцию в 1,5-2 метра. Сядь в зеленую зону. Носи маску. Соблюдай дистанцию в 1,5-2 метра. Usedi se u zeleno območje. Imej masko. Upoštevaj razdaljo od 1,5 do 2 metrov. Usedi se v zeleno območje. Imej masko. Upoštevaj razdaljo od 1,5 do 2 metrov.
Turn off your mobile phone. Wait. Be careful. Be patient. Be focused. Watch. Listen. Indulge in the feeling.
اغلقوا هواتفكم. انتظروا. كونوا حذرين. كونوا صبورين. كونوا مرتكزين. ارتقبوا. استمعوا. انغمروا في الشعور.
Выключи звук на телефоне. Ожидай. Будь внимательна. Будь терпелива. Будь готова. Смотри. Слушай. Отдайся ощущениям. І склопи звук на телефону. Почакай. Будь позорна. Будь потерпежлива. Будь збрана. Глей. Послушай. Предайся обчуткам.
Three, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. 2, 1.
لا بس صوت يمكن احسن من الصورة صح؟ Okay, so you are ready, right?
Yes.
Okay. Before we start, to say something, you.
Hello.
Okay, you have to speak louder, much louder and more assertive. Like you really believe in this, right? So, and mistakes are very welcome. You don't have to be perfect for the first time. Okay? Good. So don't give a fuck.
This instruction is not intended to discriminate. This instruction is not intended to be mocking. This instruction is not intended to be inconvenient. This instruction is not intended to be pathetic. This instruction is not intended to be subjective. This instruction is not intended to be inappropriate. This instruction is not intended to be irrelevant. This guide is not intended to intimidate. This guide is not intended to be inconsistent. This manual is de facto. Check the guidelines to know if you are happy or not.
راجع الاستشارات لتتعلمي أن تكوني سعيدة أم لا.
Tell us tales. How many camels did they pay for you?
احكي لنا قصص. سعرك كم كان من الجمال.
Be thankful you are here.
كوني شاكرة لأنك هنا.
Protect your space.
احمي مصلحتك.
Belong to your bench.
انتمي لمقعدك.
Be nice, but not too nice.
كوني لطيفة لكن ليس لطيفة جدا.
Life is a jungle. Be strong.
الحياة غابة. كوني قوية.
Look beautiful, but not available.
أبدي لطيفة ولكن غير متاحة.
Take a break. You have to take a break.
خذي استراحة. يجب عليك أن تأخذي استراحة.
Be legal. Get a visa.
كوني شرعية لتحصلي على الفيزا.
Be patient.
كوني صبورة.
You cannot have it all.
لا تستطيعين الحصول على كل شيء.
Be realistic.
كوني واقعية.
That's not possible.
Start over again.
not possible.
That is not possible.
Start over again.
Start over again.
Sit down.
Sit down.
Think.
Think.
Turn around.
Turn around.
Speak to your heart.
Speak to your heart.
Move your hands through the air. Free floating.
Move your hands through the air. Feel floating.
Go on.
Go on.
Make yourself small into a tight ball.
Make yourself small into a tight ball.
Your heart cannot move above where I am.
Your heart cannot move above where I am.
Stop feeling that something is wrong.
Stop feeling that something is wrong.
Feel something different.
Feel something different.
Act normal.
Гомосексуализм – это грех. Противоестественный грех. Гомосексуализм – это грех. Противоестественный грех и мерзость перед Богом. Мужеложники и Царствия Божьего не наследуют. You shall not lie with a male as with a woman. It is an abomination.
Can you cover up your flesh?
If a man lies with a male as with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood is upon them.
I still see more flesh.
That is why God abandoned them to their shameful desires.
No faces, please.
Even the woman turned against the natural way to have sex and instead indulged in sex with each other.
Stillness. There. Yes. That's it.
And the man, instead of having normal sexual relations with women, burned with lust for each other.
The feet. Can you pull them in and under?
Men did shameful things with other men, and as a result of this sin, they suffered within themselves the penalty they deserved.
Bodies. A few meters apart.
Господи, пожалуйста, избавь меня от этого постыдного греха.
Breathe quietly. Can we focus the lights, please? Now lift your heads up. Slowly. Gently. There. Hold it.
У стопі при вході в раті.
Wait. Do not come closer.
Почакай, не приближуйся.
Fill in this document and hand it to us.
Ісполни та документ і нам га изрочи.
Drink more water.
Пий веч воде.
Enjoy your stay. sit on the marked chairs only.
Prijeten obisk ti želimo, sedi samo na označenih stolih.
Wait until we call you.
Počakaj, da te pokličemo.
Do not act out. No one will respect you.
Ne delaj scen, nihče te ne bo spoštoval.
Be polite. Dress properly. Do not provocate.
Bodi vljudna, spodobno se obleči, ne provociraj.
Move on faster. Keep your hands still.
Premikaj se hitreje, imej roke pri miru.
Do not look across this line. Raise your body. Hurry up.
انهضي، أسرعي،
Open your eyes widely.
افتحي عينيك بشكل واسع.
Take a break. You have to take a break.
خذي استراحة، يجب عليك أن تأخذي استراحة.
Be legal. Get a visa.
كوني شرعية لتحصلي على الفيزا.
Be patient.
كوني صبورة.
You cannot have it all.
لا تستطيعين الحصول على كل شيء.
Be realistic.
كوني واقعية.
This instruction is not intended to discriminate. This instruction is not intended to be mocking. This instruction is not intended to be inconvenient. This instruction is not intended to be pathetic. This instruction is not intended to be subjective. This instruction is not intended to be inappropriate. This instruction is not intended to be irrelevant. This guide is not intended to intimidate. This guide is not intended to be inconsistent. This manual is de facto, existing or holding a specified position in fact, but not necessarily by legal right.
Now, we will kindly ask you to look under your chair. There is a piece of paper and a pen. We would like to invite you to share with us a feeling or any thought that came to your mind while watching the film. Take a moment and think about it, write it down, and just drop it under your chair. Thank you.
Prosimo te, da zdaj pogledaš pod svoj stol. Tam te čaka list papirja in svinčnik. Vabimo te, da nam zaupaš svoj občutek ob gledanju filma, misel ali karkoli bi rada delila z nami. Vzemi si trenutek in razmisli. Potem, ko napišeš, pusti listek pod stolom. Hvala.
Dobrodošli. Welcome. I would like first to ask you all to take a deep breath and let it out. And welcome on board in our performance. It is called Katastrofični Blues. And here on board we have the members of WoW group, Women on Women, who took part in the performing of this video. And we have also the coordinator of the group, a filmmaker and an artist. And here on the Zoom call, you can see the directors joining us from Outlandish Platform Theatre in Dublin. So I will just give the space for us now to introduce ourselves one by one.
Hello, I'm Alexandra. I'm from Serbia. I'm living here in Slovenia 3 years. And I'm part of this WoW group.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Favor. I'm in Nigeria. I live here in Slovenia, Ljubljana. I'm here for over 5 years now. I took part in this wide group.
Yes, I'm Samar. Sam is Iraka, govorim arabsko in malo razumem, in malo govorim slovensko, dela ženska in ženska, to je to.
In jaz sem Summer tudi, ampak jaz sem iz Jordanije. Tudi iz Štajerska, Štajerska, sem Štajerka, živim na Ptuju, 6 let že. And I'm also a member of WoW group.
My name is Victoria, and I am as well a member of that group.
My name is Tanya. I'm the coordinator of the group. I'm from Slovenia.
Zdravo svima, ja sam Jamie Hadrović, inače rođena u Sloveniji, a moji roditelji su iz Bosne.
So here we are inviting you. We will have a conversation about the process that we came up with this film. What was it about? And you are welcome to join us. So whenever you want to say something, whenever you have a question, you just raise your hand and you are welcome to join. And thinking about the film and the process that we went through, this film was basically inspired by the Katastrofični theater play by Samuel Beckett. And from here, I would like to ask my friends here, why catastrophe and what catastrophe means for you? So for this question, I think we can maybe ask it to Summer. ما هي النكبة وما تعني النكبة بالنسبة لك? What is catastrophe and what does it mean for you?
النكبة تعني لي هي الحرب، والنكبة الثانية تعني هي الزواج المبكر.
Catastrophe for me is war and child marriage. Can you elaborate more? تقدري تشرحي أكثر؟
أحكي عن الحرب، هي شيء مؤلم عندما العوائل تشرد والنساء والأطفال، عندما ترين بيتك الذي يأويك يحترق أمامك، هذا شعور مؤلم جدا. الحرب تدمر الوطن والعوائل والنساء والأطفال.
War is a destruction because it destroys house, destroys families, destroys many people's life by pushing them suddenly to be without home. It's a destruction because it makes families separating from each other.
أعرف كثير من العوائل تشردت بسبب الحرب، وكثير من النساء وخاصة النساء أكثر تشردت وأكثر تألمت بسبب الحرب. ذهبت لبلدان أخرى، طلبت اللجوء، طلبت المساعدة. هذا الشيء مؤلم يعني للغاية. مجرد إنه الفكرة تفكر بيها صعبة إذا تعيش الفكرة.
I know many families who actually had to get separated from each other because of the war that happened, and people who suddenly had to leave the country and families went apart. Members of families went apart, children, women, all got separated from each other. And from here, Summer, I would like to ask you, because you are talking about your personal experience in war in Iraq, and to which extent this personal experience was present in the video we saw maybe, or in the instructions that you wrote, which was played back in the video. فسؤالي لإلك، أنت عم تحكي عن تجربة خاصة، تجربتك أنت مع الحرب في العراق. بأي درجة أو لأي درجة تجربتك الخاصة بالحرب أثرت على الفيديو اللي أنت شاركتي فيه تجربتك والإشي اللي عرضتيه، إما بالإرشادات أو بالعرض اللي عملتيه بالفيديو اللي اخترتيه؟
أكيد أثرت علي بتجربتي بالفيديو والكلمات اللي استخدمناها هي كلها تعني إنه الفيديو يعني السلطة، لما الإنسان يتسلط عليك ويعطيك الأوامر وتضطري تغادري بلدك وتضطري تهربي وتضطري تخافي وما تلقي الأمان. هذا شعور مؤلم كلش، وحسيت بالفيديو إنه هيك لما أنا بعطي الأوامر كنا إحنا نعيش هاي اللحظة، إنه إحنا ناخذ الأوامر وما يصير إلا ننفذها.
In the video, when I was giving the instructions as an authority figure, I was recalling my experience with war when suddenly we had these instructions that we have to leave for safety. But in the other hand, we will become homeless feelings. We will have a homeless feelings because we have to leave. It's not a choice, it's not an option. But when I was doing the video and I was presenting this authority figure, I had this experience and memory recalling my experience in Iraq, receiving these instructions that I have to leave now and I have no choice but to leave now. Thank you, Samar. So talking about personal context.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Shukran, afwan. Okay. So talking about personal contexts and personal triggers. From here, I would like to ask you, Victoria, because we saw also we had this strong presence, and from here I would like to ask you what kind of personal trigger that you experienced during the process of writing the instructions or even choosing the spot of recording the film, or what you decided to do to show. What is that personal trigger? Why?
When we started this project, I actually, before that, I've never heard about like even the term oppression. And as we went on with preparations for the movie filming, I've learned so much, and I realized that, gosh, I've actually like personally been oppressed, if I can say so. In my case, the oppressor is religion and religious institutions. Because as a non-heterosexual person, like I feel like people who believe they are like Christians or any other religion, and they believe that they're like doing everything right and like they're the only good people ever, and like all others are not normal. I just used to hear so many nasty comments, so much aggression towards me and towards people who are not normal in the way those religious institutions and people think. And while when we got suggested to write a story, and the performance that we had would be based on that story, I actually immediately got this idea, like, I want to show that. I want to, show what queer people go through. And, even in my own family, for example, some of my family members are insanely religious, and I can say that I'm feeling oppressed even at home while talking to them. I need that support, hey mom, I'm not doing good. I start talking about being non-heterosexual, let's call it like that. And instead of support and acceptance, I hear things like, oh my goodness, but don't you know what Holy Bible says about, homosexuality? It's a sin. And that's probably one of the, that bad, quotes to mention. And so I'm really glad that I got to show this topic in this film, within this project, Woman on Woman, because it's what matters to me, and yeah, and I had fun while doing all of it, basically.
So thank you for sharing, Victoria. And this makes me recall how we were actually so far tackling war, sexuality, religion, within the context of the circle of oppression. The circle of oppression based on different personal situations or personal realities. And from here, Favor, I remember two things. One is quoting you in the instruction, make yourself small into a tight ball, and the other one, seeing you in the film with the sticker in your mouth, not possible. What this elaborate for you, what you were trying to elaborate through that in connection to oppression and the circle of oppression?
Yeah, thank you. For me, the oppression is very visible when it comes to me. One is seeing my color, so anywhere I am, I'm very visible. Like, automatically, anywhere I walk into, they kind of give me this look, even when I speak out. Like, other people, this is what I want to do. This is what I want. They're like, no, it's not possible. Because if you try this, people will look at you because we are not the same, and that and that. At a point, I have to talk to myself. Okay, I will give you that instruction that you want to see, but I am not taking your order because I know that it is possible. So I will just quiet because that is what you want me to do. You want me to show to you that I'm small because I'm from whatever you think or what color. I can't do anything. You just put me in a certain circle. So I keep quiet, I sit down, and I let my body language do the talking. So you want me to be small. You want me to be down. You want me to accept that I can't do anything. But I know I can do more than you think, even more than you. But you don't want to give me the chance. So I will let you feel that ego that I listen to you, but I know what I can do. So that is where it comes from. And for me, it's very strong, and it means a lot to me.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Because you actually mentioned that this is your way of resistance, if I understood correctly. It's a way that you are aware that you can, but you will show the other person that what they think is right, even though that you know it is not right.
I will let them feel like they have the power, that I accept it, because that's what they want to see from me.
So
but I'm not taking it.
Okay. You are not taking it. So can you make like a differentiation, or maybe can you explain to us in connection to internalized oppression? Because you mentioned that the oppression is there, but you are aware of it. So to a certain extent, how this connects to internalized oppression? What is the difference, if there's any?
Oppression means different things to other people. In my own case, like I said before, it's visible. Because when somebody is giving me an oppression, based on different colors and culture, they can't hide it. I can see it. It's not hiding. It's very, very visible. Even when you want to pretend, it's there. Rolling your eyes, like, it's visible to me. My case is different. For example, if you and I walk into an office, for example, the answer given to you is different from mine. The person will want to hide it or whatever, but it's very, very different. For example, I went to an office here, and it was a job office. And the lady told me that I was with the other guy from Iran. He said it in English. He didn't hide it. He said, you cannot get a job. For you, it's difficult because you are African. Nobody will accept you. So you see, it's very visible. It's not hiding when it comes to my case. So I will conclude it like it is different from other people. It's not the same.
Yes, thank you for covering this point again back like to the circle of oppression, that oppression exists and it differs based on the personal circumstances of different people. Like you mentioned, culture, ethnicity, where you come from, language, gender, like you mentioned before, religion, and language, of course. And from here, my question goes to you, Tanya, because you are the coordinator of this group. And as we see so far, we are different participants in WoW, and we had different experiences with oppression and different ways to express it. So how did you perceive that?
Yes, I would say that I feel we came far with our conversations in this group, because besides the program of the WoW stories, like what we did till now, we had a lot of personal conversations during the breaks and at different occasions. And all the topics we opened about our experiences in the societies where we live in, for example, countries where we come from, families, and all the other environments we were involved in or where we are, we noticed that there is one common line of oppression happening everywhere, and that there are the same power relations, no matter what are the differences in like language or culture. Still the power relations stay the same. And I think that what we started to question a lot is when we notice these similarities through conversations that we have, that we can fight them because we recognize them. Yeah. I think that this is something very important that came through our work. And another thing is that in our group we're very different, with different interests, from different environments, and that together we try to give each other enough space to implement these skills in the life we want to live, I would say. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Tanya. So differences, of course. Thank you, Favor, for highlighting how oppression varies and the type of instructions that we are objected to and we are enforced to follow is different based on our personal realities and personal conditions. And from here, I would like Summer to tell us more about that. Did you experience a change in your personal reality that led to a change of a kind of instructions that is enforced on you by different sides or from different sides? يعني هل ظروفك الشخصية تغيرت في مرحلة ما من حياتك وأدت إلى تغير الظلم الواقع عليك أو التعليمات المفروضة عليك من قبل المجتمع أو من قبل أي جهة أخرى؟
أكيد تغيرت حياتي كثير لما دخلت لما انفصلت عن طليقي. حياتي تغيرت يعني 180 درجة. إنه كيف نظرة المجتمع إلك خاصة بالدول العربية. هنا أنا شعرت أكثر الناس ثقافة ومتفتحين. بالدول العربية عندنا أكثر اضطهاد للمرأة، خاصة المرأة المطلقة والمنفصلة. تغيير جذري صار بحياتي بس مجرد هذا الشيء دخل في حياتي.
I experienced a different type of oppression that was connected to my marital status. When I was married, the kind of instructions that I had to follow was different from the ones after I got divorced. There was a social stigma because I'm a divorced woman, which is present in different Arabic countries against women who ask for divorce or they get divorced. I felt that the instructions changed and there was more social stigma associated to me being a woman who got divorced.
الصوري كنت أقول لهم أني ترى سمر، هي نفسها سمر، هاي هي هاي، يعني شنو اللي صار؟ يعني بس مجرد انفصالي ما أعرف، يعني حسيت تغيير جذري بالتعامل مع الناس، كيف يتعاملوا معي، يعني ما أعرف، يعني أنا الصراحة ما كنت أعرف هاي التجربة إنه حتغير نظرة العالم، يعني تماماً تغيرت. فصرت أقول لهم ترى أنا سمر نفسي، يعني ما تغير شيء، بس مجرد انفصال بين شخص متولبنا وخلاص انفصلنا. يعني هل أنا تغيرت حتى أنتم تتغيروا علي؟ أنا صراحة ما تقبلت شعورهم ولا تغييرهم.
I remember it was a radical change. So I was actually telling people that, come on, I am Summer, I'm the same person, nothing changed. I was just married and then I got divorced. So why you are treating me differently? Why all these different behaviors toward me? I am really the same person. So I was really in shock, and I was trying to explain to people that really nothing changed in me. So why you are treating me differently? I was the same person before and after, and being married and divorced does not change who I am.
الصوري اللي بس لمجرد انفصلت أنا كنت أعمل وعندي حياتي وعندي شخصيتي مستقلة بعملي وشخصيتي، بس لمجرد إنه أنا انفصلت أهلي فرضوا علي إنه أترك العمل، بس لمجرد إنه أنا صرت ما في رجل مسلط علي.
For example, like before I got divorced, I had my own business. I was running my own business. I was working in my own work. I was independent when it comes to that. But after I got divorced, I was obliged by my parents to leave my work because I am divorced. Because before I was under the control of a man, so I could work. But now after I got divorced, I had to leave my job and stay home because there's no man in my life to control me.
من الكلمات اللي أنا كتبتها للنساء خاصة، كوني قوية، الحياة غابة.
One of the instructions that I wrote in this film was dedicated to women. Be strong, life is a jungle.
لأن فعلا الحياة غابة، والمرأة لازم تكون قوية حتى تدافع عن حقوقها قبل كل شيء، ولازم تثبت حالها للمجتمع ولكل العالم إنه هي مو ضعيفة وتقدر مثل الرجل، مثل ما هو الرجل يقدر يشتغل ويروح ويجي ويسافر، المرأة تقدر تسوي نفسه وممكن أكثر، لأن هي المرأة صبورة.
Because it's true, life is a jungle, and women should be fighting strong for their rights and for freedom and for their personal spaces, to be able to be equal to men, to travel, to work, and to enjoy other basic rights. So life is a jungle, and women should be fighting for the rights.
من الكلمات اللي كتبتها كوني صبورة، كل شيء بالصبر يجي، قد ما تتأخر الأشياء تجي. أنا حاولت إنه أسافر 3 سنين، يلا قدرت إنه أسافر، بس سافرت، طلعت يعني إنه من العراق وجيت لسلوفينيا. 3 سنين طولت العملية، بس كنت صبورة وكان عندي أمل إنه أغير حياتي.
And one of the instructions that I wrote, it was be patient, because I was patient and I waited for 3 years in hope to leave, to come here. And eventually, after 3 years of trying, I managed to leave Iraq and to come here because I had the hope and the patience that I need and I want to change my life. So this is one of the instructions I wrote. Be patient, because if you are patient, you can make things happen.
وكتبت كوني واقعية، ما كان أقدر إنه أغير المجتمع كاملاً، بس أقدر أغير حياتي وأتجه باتجاه آخر. فكتبت كلمات كوني واقعية.
I also wrote the instruction be realistic, because I was realistic that I cannot change the whole society, but I have the power to change my own life and to get a better life. This was the realistic part.
كتبت من كلماتي لا تستطيعين الحصول على كل شيء فعلا هو الإنسان مو بس المرأة ما يقدر لا يستطيع الحصول على كل شيء، ولكن يحاول أن يحصل على أشياء أفضل، إنه يغادر بلده ويروح بلد ثانية أفضل من يقعد في بلده وهو ما يوجد نفسه فيها.
I also wrote that you cannot have everything, because indeed I think that people cannot have everything. I had to leave my country and to come here to get some of the things I want. So maybe if people try, they can get, but not everything.
كتبت ابدي لطيفة ولكن غير متاحة، يعني الحياة إنه هي تتطلب منك تكونين لطيفة بس غير متاحة.
I also wrote, be nice but not available, because life is asking us to be nice but not available. Okay.
وكتبت احمي مصلحتك، لأن المرأة هي لازم تحمي مصلحتها عشان تاخذ كل حقوقها بالحياة.
And I also wrote, protect your benefits, protect your space, because I think women should do that and able to get what they want and the rights they want.
شكرا لك.
شكرا. خوالا لبا.
خوالا.
Summer. Okay, so Summer, what you were saying actually sounded like my next question for Alexandra, because you were giving us like a guideline. يعني كنت عم تعطينا زي إرشادات. هلا كنت عم تعطينا زي إرشادات. وهذا خلاني أفكر بالسؤال تبع ألكسندرا. I will just quote you and then you need to explain to me what was that. Because I loved it. It was like this. This manual is de facto. What is de facto, Alexandra?
Thank you. Well, for me, de facto it's one line. It's one line or for waiting between living lives and waiting for our life to pass, because in our life everything wait, everything we listen. I don't know. You must do this. You must do that, and for all these things we have only two things: time and patience. And if you have time, you have a lot of opportunities or possibilities, and patience for actually to get them. And a lot of us say that, we have time, life is long, we're waiting for better times. And I think that when we waiting for these better times, we lost opportunities, and for waiting opportunities, we lost time. So life is one, and life is your life, and you must live in your way. And for your life, you have only for you decision, because I think that we have to live our life and color them all this life.
Thank you, Alexandra. This manual is de facto.
De facto, yes.
And from here, I would like to come to our directors over there. Hopefully not like the director in the Katastrof theater play. They are not, they are more. So I have a question for you. First, maybe you can introduce yourself more, because you did not in the first round.
Hello, everyone. My name is Maud Hendricks, and
Hi, I'm Bernie O'Reilly. How are you doing? We are from Outlandish Theatre Platform, based in Dublin. We make new work with participants. We begin a conversation, and we're particularly interested like we have with this project, in looking at self-representation and what experiences people have and bringing those to the stage. And we're delighted to see everybody this evening.
Okay, so can you tell us more maybe about the Catastrophe play by Samuel Beckett and why Catastrophe? Why you have chosen that?
I think the Catastrophe play was it's an inspiration for us to have a conversation. So it's very much offered a catalyst point of conversation about oppression, as we heard you talk about, and like you said, the cycle of oppression. Like Bernie said, we're very interested in self-representation and this idea of intersectionality, not just looking at the very narrow way of defining people, but allowing more space for people to perform their own identities and their own selves. And we very much felt that the Catastrophe, which is very much a play about oppression and about the different roles people play and the different roles of different types of oppression play in that idea of shaping a performance. In this case, and the director is one voice of oppression. Then we have the performer who's basically executing the instructions. And then we have the go-between person who is the assistant of the director, who is trying to support the performer, but also trying to support the director, and this kind of in-between scenario. And we felt that this play was very much like an outline, like most of Samuel Beckett's play. There's a lot of room for interpretation and there's a lot of room for play. So we saw it as a playground for us to have a conversation. Especially since COVID has restricted us from being with you in the room, having the conversation and physical bodies together. We felt that this play was very much a conversation point that we could all share from a distance and have the conversation with, as we've had, via Zoom, via email, via group conversations that were documented and sent over and back. And so when we weren't able to do the full project in one go, we felt that we could really focus in on the director role for this part of the process before we join it in with the next year's full execution, hopefully, fingers crossed, of the project in live in Ljubljana.
Thank you, Bernie. We will also elaborate more further about what is going to happen next. But for now, because you emphasized on intersectionality, and we all more or less shared our views about what is catastrophe. So from here, my question to you and to Muad, what is catastrophe for you, or catastrophe for you? Very philosophical, I know.
Bernie and myself work in Dublin, and there, as this is a European project, we are looking a lot at the politics of Europe and the politics of oppression within Europe towards migration, and so we were very interested in Ireland. It's an island. It's a small place. It's quite far away from Slovenia, but there's a huge emphasis for us on looking at on inequality in society, and an emphasis looking at that from not just from the national boundaries, but also from the European boundaries, and looking at Fort Europe. And I think people are so kind of like caught up in at the moment with COVID, but other catastrophes that have been going on ongoingly with regards to war, with regards to migration, they kind of get snowed under, they get forgotten about because we're so focused on our own catastrophe locally. So again, this conversation and this project was an impulse to open up that conversation across from the north to the south towards the external boundaries of Europe and what how harsh and how hard they are.
Thank you, Bernie. Muad, you would like to share also what is catastrophe, if you have something to add?
I think what's the gateway that Samuel Beckett's catastrophe gives us is that not only do you have the opportunity to think about, you know, the oppressions you have experienced, the oppression, but also how you are, I think as Maud was saying, how you are complicit in oppressions and how you are complicit in catastrophes that are happening. And I think the example of, you know, the asylum system in Ireland is one that I feel very much that I don't agree with it. I feel, you know, it has to be dismantled. The process has to be completely reassessed, but I am still complicit as a citizen of Ireland in the operation of this system. So I think catastrophe as a play, by looking at the internalized oppression, externalized oppressions and systems of oppression, you know, really you can have the full circular conversation about oppression.
Thank you, Moad and Bernie, for bringing these important topics on the table as well. And now, Jimmy, how are you?
What do you think?
Well, I can only imagine.
I thought it will never come to my turn.
Well, we are saving you last but not least.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we are saving you because you were playing different roles in this process. You are a filmmaker, you are an artist, but you were also mediating and playing different roles that maybe you can share more about them. How was this rules and how was your feeling in interaction to this role that you took in the process?
Okay. I never liked these hard questions in school, and I didn't prepare that either. But what to say? Okay, first of all, I didn't even feel like I'm a mediator. That was actually your role, as it is now. But yeah, I was just jumping from more like trying to do the patching work between film directors, and these women were incredible by doing their job, by the way, and they have this extraordinary spectrum of knowledge, and I respect that a lot. That's why it was very easy to work with them, because they know what they want, and they ask that in a very straightforward way, but at the same time they were very polite. They weren't bossy, and that's a big. It's very important when you work with people that it doesn't look there is somebody trying to oppress you. And regarding you girls, it wasn't difficult at all, because each of you has a very unique individual character, personality, and you are also radiating that when working with you. You can sense that all of you have their own struggle, but you don't emphasize that you are everything else but that. And you're all very strong, very intelligent, incredible women. And that's all I can say. So yeah, the working process was actually easy, and I'm very proud of you. I'm also proud of our directors and the whole group that were involved. And I'm also grateful that you invited me to be part, and I will do it again, all over again. So we start tomorrow with new script and yeah.
Can I add something?
Yeah,
actually,
for sure.
Working with you was such a pleasure. Like, we had a lot of fun. I mean, we had to re-record videos like 5 times at least, but it was like there was absolutely no tension between us. We like kept on joking, like smoking cigarettes every once in a while.
Don't say it.
Come on, I was doing that in the video. We cannot deny it, come on. Hey mom, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, I don't know about others.
Yeah, I would like to add that I really fall in love with her personality. Like, she's down to earth.
They did as well. They just don't say it out loud.
Okay, so you have to tell us more now.
سمر بدي أسألك شنو تعني لك الكارثة أو النكبة؟
Okay, so Samar insists to have a question for me about what is catastrophe for me. And I promise I will answer After Jimmy, because I asked her first. يعني رح أجاوب بعد Jimmy. Okay, so you are working as a filmmaker, as an artist, and we prepared a question for you that we would like to know how this experience that you had with us maybe differ from other experiences. How and why and if.
The main difference is that this is the first time I worked with a bigger group. I mainly work with myself, and I'm mostly my own director in my artwork, the one and only participant. And I'm the one usually who directs and tell other people what they're supposed to do. And this time it was me receiving also the directions from other people. So, and I was always a bit afraid of that I thought I won't be able to do that because I thought I would be a very conflicted person and very demanding. But that wasn't the case. This time I also learned that actually I am capable of listening other people and their wishes, what they want to do. That's the only difference, actually, yeah. The difference was fear of failing, that I won't be able to be maybe sensitive to the needs of other people, but I think that wasn't the case. I think that's it. But if you want to ask something else.
Maybe you have any questions or something? Not for now, let's say. And also a reminder for our guests here, whenever you want to say something, have a question, just raise your hand. So back to your question, Summer. I did not think about that, even that I was in the process all the time. But it is a hard question. What comes to my head right now, talking about catastrophe, I would connect it to internalized oppression. Because when Favor was mentioning that she sees the oppression and it's visible, and then I think about internalized oppression, when you are so much embodying the system of any kind, a system of colonization, a system of white supremacy, a system of patriarchy, and you start living it, and you start to practice oppression on yourself. Because for me, of course, it is a catastrophe that the oppression is visible or invisible. The oppression is a catastrophe, but if we embody this system within us to the extent that it becomes invisible, and we are not even aware of it, we are not even aware about chauvinism, we really embody it. And when we think that colonization was a history, but we are living in it, because yes, the color of our skin matters, but white supremacy also is not only about the skin color. It is mainly about the skin color, but it's not only about the skin color. It's about many other things. It's about the rules and the structure that we are inheriting to the next generations. It's about us internalizing the oppression within ourselves. How I can be less Arab so I can be more smart. How I can act less Arab to be more accepted. Which university I should get, which formal education I can get, and how I should treat the others to prove that I am part of the system. I can climb in your system because I'm part of it. So this is a catastrophe for me, because awareness is the first step. And this is why I was enthusiastic about this journey and this process, because like Maya Angelou, the American poet, said, people might forget what you say or what you do, but they will not forget the way they make you feel. And this is why we ask you to write your feelings, because you might forget what you saw. We might forget what we told you, but feelings are not to be forgotten. And this is what motivated me to take part in this place, because empathy is what we need, of course, before knowledge or any kind of talks or intellectual talks about colonization as part of the history. It's not. Intellectual talks about any kind of historical events or present events is not valid if empathy is not there. And it is only through this open communication and community events that we can actually reach this honest level of human-to-human communication. Yeah, that's all for me. What is catastrophe?
Thank you.
Thank you too. Yes. Okay, so please, dear ladies, and if anyone else wants to jump in with any intervention, or we can go to the next question about what is next. What we are going to do next. And this question is for all of us. So please, if anyone have any kind of hints about maybe something we would like to do next, what will happen next year, not only on a technical level, but also maybe more topics that we would like to touch or to talk about that we did not so far.
العرض كان اليوم هو عرض تجريبي انه احنا بنجرب الفكره حاليا والعرض النهائي حيكون السنه الجايه بنفس هذا الشهر فحابين اذا عندكم افكار تضيفوها ان حابين نسمعها.
So this was an experimental streaming. It's like you can consider it as a teaser or a trailer. And our job will continue, and we are opening the door for anyone who would like to join us. You are welcome also to join us. If you have more topics you would like to talk about, because we would like to tackle the topic more. And I think Bernie and Mouad also mentioned that they focused more on the director side, the oppressor side in this work we had. And Samar is saying that next year there will be more people who will able to be joining if anyone is interested, and we will work further in another production. Anyone else maybe wants to add something about what is next? Maybe Bernie and Mouad?
Just to say that, like, your work is extraordinary and you all did it yourselves. Like, it's just amazing to hear all the different instructions resonating on so many levels as an intersectional piece of work. So I would very much emphasize the fact that the collective kind of value of what you've created has really emphasized that idea of self-representation and intersectionality, and that we would love to build on that, as you say, and invite more people to bodily take part in this project next year. What we would like to do, and let's say that, you know, we can, that all the restrictions for being physically together will have dissipated by then, is that we will work with this video as like it's an aspect of it. It might change a little. It might develop like a good wine, but we will very much focus on the effect of the body and the honesty of the body and how oppression kind of resonates in the body. So physically together, we will create a choreography very much inspired by the instructions that you have developed. And continue working together as a collective group with more people to share more of their experiences, but also to say that everybody wrote a story in the sort of process of creating these instructions in this film. And the stories that were created were very, very evocative and very personal and very important documents. And they will also come back in the further treatment of this project. So there's so much in this project already developed that we will bring back once we are creating a live performance. And we're very excited about all that.
Thank you so much. So I think maybe we can slowly, yeah, please, Jamie.
I have a question for you, Maud and Bernie. The only correct answer to this question is yes. Okay? And the question goes, will you invite me next year to collaborate in Dublin?
Say yes, you better say yes.
You have many witnesses here.
I can't hear you.
Yes.
I just got a project.
Bravo.
But just to say,
Just to been an extraordinary collaboration with Jamie and with Tanya and with Urshka as well, that we're so, we've had such an amazing time developing this really quite intensely since April in all our conversations and all the workshops, and it's just been, we're really, really excited to be able to come to Ljubljana and hopefully meet new people and bring in new perspectives into the conversation, and to work physically together in a space will be quite amazing after all of this. And we're just,
And just to say that the collaboration we couldn't have had a better person to work with on the ground in Ljubljana. Your sensitivity, Jamie, was extraordinary, and Urshka and all the women. And the trust was huge as well. And we felt very supported from a distance, because it is a scary thing to take on a project where you're not physically present. But it was in such good hands that, thank you so much for collaborating. And yes, let's continue that in Dublin or elsewhere.
This more sounds like a no to me.
Yes, no.
Okay, let's go on.
Okay. Are we done? Okay, do you want to continue? Do you wish to continue?
You can, please.
No, I just want, if like we are done, that I can just invite you people to raise your hands or ask something, whatever. Like the stage is open, Q&A section is open, if only in case if we're sort of done. Are we?
Well, if anyone wants to share anything, a feeling or an intervention, a question, please, you are welcome. So, yes, please.
I have a question. As I see that it's, you call it intersectional, but it's also like a lot of white people in the project. I was just asking myself how you dealt with differences, actually. You talked about similarities that you connected with, but I was wondering how you actually also, how you could use differences in a productive way.
Okay, so thank you for this question. If you don't mind, I will answer first and everything. First, I would like to bring 2 points on the table. First, yes, I believe that we have to give more spaces for people from different, especially from the global south. Second one, I know you did not say that, but I just want to make it clear, I'm not white. In the white supremacy system, I'm not white. I'm an Arab. My name is Samar Muhammad Ali Zghul, and if I am becoming Arab, if I'm calling myself white, then I am internalizing oppression. I am Samar Muhammad Ali Zghul, a Muslim, and I'm not white. I'm an Arab. So I just want to say that I'm not white. I feel better now after I said it. Otherwise, I totally think we have to open spaces for more people from various global south, and this is very important. So thank you for that. And if anyone else wants to answer, please.
No, I have a question for you. It's a good question, by the way, but since you point out the differences in intersectionality, and you just pointed out based on outer appearance differences, so my question to you is what intersectionality means to you? Because we, all of us here are intersectional based on our background, our not only race, but also our class system, how we were brought up. Like it's a huge spectrum of differences, and beside even we are like that, we don't work with each other just because we're supposed to be different. Like, what is cultural difference for you? Like, does it, no, I'm getting confused. Is it our difference just because she's black and I'm white? Like, is that the only difference between us? Or could it be maybe bigger difference between me and her, and we are both white? Maybe I have more common points with Favor than I do with Tanya. Like, so, yeah, my question... Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's very great.
That is one, and the other one, I was actually referring or being inspired from Audre Lorde, and the main question to intersectionality is how actually we can use our
Well, I think...
Yeah.
Yes, I think your question, or maybe like also about intersectionality, I think this is one of our strength points as a group level, like if I understood correctly, because on a group level, we are coming from totally different backgrounds. We are coming from different countries. I think the only common thing between us is that we are all living in Slovenia, except for you.
And we have a vagina. That's the
Yes.
biggest content.
I mean, I did not check. I did not check all of you, but if you say so, maybe you did. I did not. But.
You don't have to go into details.
Yeah, regard to your question, I would like to add this. Actually, I love that question. Bringing it here, I love it. Because when I heard of this program, personally, I didn't want to take place because I thought I would not be accepted. I also told somebody else from another country, they were like, no, because they want to make me feel like I'm shit, I cannot contribute anything, I should just listen. So that question is really very beautiful for me, because we have to open hands to let people understand that regardless of your color or where you come from, you are important, you can contribute. We need to give that attitude to people welcoming, so it can, attract other people and other colors or other backgrounds. Yeah. Thank you for the question.
Thank you. Okay. Any more questions?
No.
Yes, please. Go ahead. اهلا وسهلا.
الخيار لكم ترجموا على الانجليزي او لا، بس حابب احكي عن تجربتنا هون بسلوفينيا. انا صار لي عايش هون تقريبا بحدود ال4 سنين. وبشكل عام على طول عم نواجه نحن المشكله بالتعامل مع العرب بشكل عام. نحن كثير عم نحاول ندخل المرأة للانشطه اللي عم نشتغلها بشكل عام على الاعلام او على الاجتماعات مع النشطاء اللي بيساعدوا اللاجئين او اللي بيتضامنوا مع المهاجرين والغرباء، بس على طول في مشكله انه يعني انتم بشكل عام النقاط كلها اللي حكيتوا عنها هي بتجمع وبتشرح وضع المراه بالمجتمع العربي، وحتى انه هن عايشين هون بسلوفينيا وفي نوع من التفتح والى اخره، هي لسه المشاكل نفسها بتحصل. يعني اليوم انا عمري 26 سنه، اذا بدي اتصل ببنت عربيه لازم اول شغله يا اما اتصل عن طريق جوزها او عن طريق ابوها، ما فيني حكيها بشكل مباشر انه اوكي نحن عندنا هالمشروع المعين، هالفكره المعينه اللي عم نحاول نشتغل عليها، حابين ندعيكي وشاركي معنا. حتى النظره او النظره التقليديه للرجل العربي اللي هي تعرفي يعني انه الرجل المتسلط، الرجل المغتصب، الرجل بشكل عام. هلا اذا متضايق اتصل بالشرطه بشكل عام. إيه فهون نحن على طول عارفين عندنا مشاكل بهذا الموضوع. انا اللي بدي اساله انه النصيحه كيف نتعامل مع هالموضوع؟ حضرتك عندك تجربه وطويله وما بعرف، يعني نحن بشكل عام حاولنا كثير طرق نستخدمها لحتى نحاول نجيب عنصر نسائي اكثر على اي شيء بنشتغله، بس لسه لهلا هالموضوع مشكله. فهل عندك اي نصيحه ممكن نشتغل عليها؟
Okay, first of all, Samer. لا, I will ask you to say it in English because I know that you speak English. So maybe you can repeat what you said in English. I mean, I can voluntarily translate, but
no, I can do that.
Okay.
I forgot what did I ask. No, the question I asked is specifically for her because I'm also an Arab and I understand all the points she raised over the issues that the Arab female faces in everyday life within the Arab community. And I said I've been living here in Slovenia for over 4 years. I'm a refugee and in touch with most of the refugees here. And we always try to invite women over to participate in events we do or stuff we would like to do, but it's always hard because there's still this typical relation or still the same situation that the man is still the oppressor, and if we want to communicate with the female, we have to call her husband or her brother, and the communication has to go through this, patriarchal system or whatever. So what I asked is if she has any advice, because she has an experience with so many things, and she obviously has a longer experience than I do. I asked for an advice, how can we approach that and deal with it as a community that is trying to do something here among the refugees and migrants.
Thank you so much, Samir, for the translation like you did. Thank you. And Samir wanted to answer, so I will just give her the mic.
أنا بدي أعطيك الحل هو عند النساء، إن هم لازم يحررون نفسهم من الرجال، إن هم اللي لازم يبلشوا يحرروا نفسهم، خاصة هون في أوروبا عندهم حقوق الإنسان وحقوق المرأة، ماخذة حقوقها المرأة تماماً، يعني هنا تقدر هي تشتغل على حالها وتحرر نفسها. إذا بهذه الفترة وبهذا المكان ما قدرت تحرر نفسها وتطلع من اللي هي بيه، ما راح تقدر أبداً تحرر نفسها. عندها الفرصة إنه تتحرر هسه.
Translation. Well, I think that the thing has to start from women themselves, because women should fight this kind of chauvinism and male dominance, and they have to free themselves by themselves. So this is the first step. And she also said that now we are in Europe where there's human rights and there's more protection of human rights. So I think, this is what she says, that I think that the solution is for women to take the initiative and to fight this form of male dominance and male control and do it. So this makes me, now we finished with the translation, I just have a remark. Of course, I am very much open to discuss this more into details because it is a wide topic, of course. But this makes me recall the concept of gender mainstreaming, which is a hot topic whenever you are now in any political debate about migration or about foreign policy. Gender mainstreaming is there all the time. But also, gender mainstreaming, when we are thinking about it, about a tool of inclusion, it is not a lot of blah, 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 because maybe we are the answer. This is what sometimes I suffer to explain to some people about why sometimes we need only women group. So this is one point, that sometimes we really need only women group or people who identify themselves into women. Some people call it positive discrimination, some people call it, but I see it as a necessary step and a necessity of living within this system we are living in. It's a necessity to create an environment where people feel more productive or more allied. So this can be something, as we hear, maybe women on women. And also another thing that I was thinking about, connecting to my first point about internalized oppression, I agree with Samar that we should start by ourselves, that's for sure. We have to start by realizing that what is happening is not the norm. And how we can know if what is happening is not the norm if we did not experience another reality. So yes, I believe we have to start from the society, we have to start from the men, we have to and another thing that I think very interesting, that, and also maybe in the City of Women, I think it was mentioned somewhere in your WoW ceremony, a word, that when we are talking about women, we are not only meaning women, but we are talking about queer, gender, like non-binary gender group, because this is an important topic. I think if we are fighting homophobia in specific cultures, then we are working toward gender equality. And this is inseparable. When we are saying about oppression against women, we have to identify also gender-based oppression against non-binary people, against queer people. And if we manage to reach that, then we are talking about intersectionality and how we can just abolish the concept of male dominance, about toxic masculinity. So it is women and the whole concept of enforced gender binarism that is triggering this internalized oppression of women, that they cannot join your activities. And yeah, maybe creating these spaces like this, woman on woman, you can try that. And maybe we can brainstorm together later more. So thank you so much for this valid question.
Sorry, Samar.
Yeah.
I just really wanted to thank you for saying the words you just said. It means a lot to me and other people here, maybe. Just, yeah, I think it's really important to bring up that topic, like that this like whole project, I don't know, like the whole woman groups is not just like about like women who were like born with like certain body details, if I can call it like that, but like in my opinion, for example, I would love there to be in our group a woman, like a person who identifies as a woman when she was born as not what she identifies with. And like when you were just like covering this topic, I was about to start crying because I'm like so thankful. Like we don't really talk about those topics a lot. And yeah, basically, long story short, thank you.
Thank you too.
I would also like to add in that regard that starting from women group, I think is a good idea because like someone said that as women, we have to be strong to stand our ground. I would like to add that it is not all women that are strong. So we need to stand as women to support ourselves, to give energy to other women that are weak. Because of who you are, what you have been through, today you are stand, you can face anybody. But not all women, there is still a lot of women that are not strong. They can't face it. So they need energy from other women to carry on.
And I would like to continue with a bit of a shadow side of that, which is a different view of women on women, which is severe bullying of women. So women who severely bully or hinder other women. So that would be those who are not strong, who cannot face it, definitely not, but who might not need that kind of supportive energy from other people because they are hindering other women. So that is a lot of my experience. I did experience a lot of severe bullying by women, which was a lot harsher than that by men. So that is a shadow side that I would like to bring up that would have to be discussed as well.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, I also think that when we are living in a system that is so much embodied in us, I remember certain times in my life where I was making jokes as a teenager about myself being a woman. And it took me time to realize that I was practicing oppression on myself. Like all that jokes that people blame you why you are not laughing because it's just a joke. That you are so much aggressive. You should laugh, it's a joke. A joke about a sexiest joke. And yeah, sometimes this is an important topic. This bullying yourself and other people that like women bullying other women, or bullying ourselves, I would add, but bullying other people as well. So thank you for it. Anyone would add something? Okay.
Thank you.
So we will be wrapping up right now. If anyone wants to add something, then okay. So thank you so much for being present today. Thank you for the feelings you wrote and the feelings or the stories you shared. And thanks to all the ladies and all the people here who actually shared a lot. And stay tuned. And I hope to see some of you in our next production. So stay tuned, follow the City of Women page on Facebook to see about our next steps. And on behalf of all of us, thank you again. And we hope to talk more and to discuss more and to feel more. Thank you. So.
بروسم سمر حابة أدعي كل النساء تشترك ويانا وتجرب تخوض التجربة
I would like to
على العام القادم إن شاء الله.
I would like to invite all women to take.
Somebody's raising his hand. Okay.
Okay. I would like to invite all women to take part in our next year production and to join us. Yes, please.
I just want to advise City of Women that they start to write something in Arabic that they can reach more people who's not speaking Slovene or reading Slovene or English. So I think it would be quite useful if they would use Arabic on their page. I think it's very much useful. I know myself, like few Arabic women who doesn't speak English or Slovene, and they're interested to go out to collaborate, but they, let's say, it's missing information for them. There's not a lot of information around. It would be quite useful, I think, if they start to use this at least from time to time.
Can I add something to that?
Yes, please.
I think it's actually a good idea, and especially if the translator/writer would be a woman, an Arabic woman who speaks Arabic. So that way we, or the organization, the City of Women, would support another woman. So yeah, we should maybe suggest that if it's not in yet. So.
Let's ask the boss.
So thank you all. Yeah. And any other remarks, please? Okay, so now we will clap for you, and thank you so much for being here.